Public Works for July 20th of 2026. Number 2, approval of the minutes of December 15th, 2025 Board of Public Works meeting.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. We have a second. Oh,
I'll second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
Citizens' comments. Do we have any citizens? Seeing none, we'll move on to number 4, request to approval of variance requested for back 9 estates presented by Josh Marwitz, acting public works director. Josh?
Thank you. In August of 2025, Jeff Hill presented a proposed residential development on property located near the northwest corner of McMillan Street and St. Joseph Avenue. The proposed subdivision will feature 16 large lots for single-family homes and 1 lot reserved for a stormwater pond. The roadway is proposed to be a rural section with 22-foot wide asphalt pavement with a 5-foot gravel shoulder on either side and also with ditches. Utilities will include a public water system for potable water and fire protection. It will also include facilities to direct stormwater runoff to the stormwater pond. The developer made a presentation back in August that prompted discussion on what improvements will be required for municipal code. Due to the lack of readily available sanitary sewer and water main, the developer requested that private sewer systems be allowed, meaning holding tanks, mound systems, et cetera. And also it asked that private wells be allowed. Fire Chief Mueller followed with a presentation on the challenges of effectively providing fire protection without a public water supply. No action was taken at the meeting, but the council generally seemed in favor of allowing private sewer, but were not supportive of private wells and no fire protection. So at this point, the developer is formally requesting the following items required by municipal code to be waived. The first item is public sanitary sewer main and service laterals. As was discussed back in August, each home would have its private sewer system. Item number 2 is he's asking that curb and gutter be waived. And the road would be, as I described previously, with a rural section, meaning asphalt street with ditches. And then lastly, you requested that the sidewalk requirement be waived as well. And I guess waiving the curb and gutter and sidewalk requirements would make this neighborhood resemble the look and feel of the neighboring town of McMillan subdivisions. If these waiver requests are approved, they will be incorporated into a development agreement that will ultimately be brought to the council for its consideration. So my recommendation is really at the discretion of the board.
Need a motion?
I move to approve.
Second? Any discussion? Andrew?
Excuse me. So, Josh, this would go to part of the development agreement that's going to be presented to the board later on, correct?
Yes, this was discussed in both in open and closed council sessions previously. As this development moves forward, ultimately we will have a development agreement with the developer that spells out, it would identify these variances specifically along with the other requirements of the development. And that would—
Okay, so this is where I'm coming from. Oh, go ahead.
That would be up for full council approval of that development agreement.
Right, and this is where I'm coming from here. So I'm just thinking, as far as negotiating a development agreement, do you think it'd be worthwhile bringing these 3 items to the full council first, so you have, you know what the full council is thinking before the development agreement gets hammered out, and then someone potentially might have an issue with something?
I think we've kind of done that already, and whatever is decided tonight will also go to the council. There'll be a few more times to discuss this bigger picture.
Got to move it on.
Okay, and then what are your reservations? Because I noticed that you put it to the discretion of the board as opposed to approve.
Well, I guess staff's supportive of the waiver of the curb and gutter and sidewalk requirements. And, you know, we've had this discussion a while back about the private sewer system that, you know, I think staff was comfortable with and council was generally in support of. And I guess it was in my memo too, the curb and gutter and sidewalk. If you look at what we've done recently with Denyon or with Daniel's addition, we did not require sidewalk. And this one just being nearby and adjacent to some town of McMillan neighborhoods, that it basically has the same look and feel to that. If we were to put sidewalk in,
Okay,
it
thank you.
wouldn't connect with anything anyway.
Any other
Gotcha.
discussion?
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Discussion? Yes.
Josh, this is another question. I remember 3 or 4 years ago, I asked Tom Turchy about what were the benefits of curb and gutter opposed to drainage ditches for road quality. And he felt that roads lasted longer when there was curb and gutter. I think, I can't remember why.
I think historically our ditch streets have probably been built. I mean, several of them are quite old and they probably weren't built to the standards we build them today. That could be part of it. Curb and gutter also tends to increase runoff. They're wider, more impervious surfaces. I mean, there's pros and cons to both.
So the road will be built to the specifications that the city of Marshfield gives, is that correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then do you feel like it will be able to last that 25 years that we're trying to stretch those roads out to?
Yeah, it would meet our design standards that we build to. I mean, we hope to get longer than that out of them. Generally need to get longer than that out of them.
Okay.
So,
Thank
yeah,
you.
we will approve the design. They should meet our standards.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries. Request to approve crushing and stockpiles of asphalt and concrete salvage material contractors, contracts presented by Tim Rasmussen, Street Superintendent.
Good evening. Each year, the city of Marshfield collects salvage materials from its street projects. These materials are stored at a city site for future crushing and stockpiling. The asphalt concrete salvage materials are crushed to the city WISDOT spec to be used on future city projects. On January 9th, 2026, the street division opened proposals for crushing and stockpiling of these salvage materials. A total of 5 proposals were received and opened. Below and included in the information here is the bid tabulations for those 5 proposals. The total cost at the end of the project will come from, be calculated by and paid by the ton, measured on a belt scale during the crushing. Staff recommends that the Board of Public Works award the 2026 crushing of the stockpile and stockpiling of asphalt and concrete salvage materials to the low bidder of Paul Bugard Trucking out of Loyal, Wisconsin, and authorize the execution of a contract. Sorry.
Motion to
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Andrew, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. Number 6, request to approve the proposed mowing project, also presented by Tim Rasmussen.
For the 2025 mowing season, the city approved a 1-year contract extension with the requirement that the work be competitively bid for 2026. Official notice and the RFP for that contract was issued on October 19th, 2025. The contract terms aligned with the other city departments here for their agreements and included detailed scope descriptions, compensation expectations, and maps for the 9 zones that the street division's responsible for. Contractors were required to submit a bid form, compliance checklist, and proof of insurance by the December 19th, 2025 deadline. Two sealed proposals were received. The included tabs in this packet show the 2025 price along with the cost per zone for each contractor. Also calculated is the estimate cost per season using both the 2025 mowing count and a 3-year average over the past 3 years. Mowing and trimming costs vary depending on the seasonal growth conditions. So pricing for this contract did decrease in several areas due to a reduced mowing acreage and restructuring of the former bundled zone 4 into separate zones. Several operational notes that are in that RFP include that the start and end mowing season will be determined by the street superintendent. Mowing is performed to maintain a 4-inch grass height. No area may be mowed more than once per week without prior approval. Weed trimming occurs every 3 weeks. And during slow growth periods, mowing and trimming intervals may be extended at the street superintendent's discretion. There was an option for hourly services if those are needed. And the city may adjust mowing areas annually with negotiated payment adjustments. Also, either party may terminate the agreement with a 60-day written notice, and invoices must be submitted monthly and separated by each zone and trimming event. The next bit of information is that breakout for each zone. The first column.
We don't need it.
Okay. Then a bit of analysis. The street division's mowing zones include several high visibility corridors and stormwater critical areas that shape first impressions of the city. While Krugler Lawn Care offered a $237 annual savings in the Northwest Zone, Beaver Creek Nursery and Landscaping LLC submitted the lower cost proposal across all other zones. Splitting the contract between two vendors would introduce some oversight, complexity, and risk in inconsistent service levels in areas where uniform appearance and timely maintenance are essential. The operational efficiencies gained by awarding the full contract to a single vendor outweigh the marginal financial difference. Beaver Creek's proposal delivers the lowest overall cost and most cohesive approach to managing all 9 zones. For that reason, my recommendation is to approve the proposal from Beaver Creek Nursery and Landscaping for all zones in the 2026 through 2029 mowing and weed trimming street division RFP and authorize execution of an agreement.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second. Any discussion? Natasha?
So last time has this ever been bidded out?
Yes, yep,
Yes.
years prior.
So the last time, was it bid out in 9 zones or was it one comprehensive bid?
Back in the late, like 2018 or so, prior to 2018, this was a large contract similar to it is now. In 2018, we did bring some of those mowing locations back in-house. We had some newly retired full-time guys that retired that we did bring back in on staff to mow some of these locations. Currently, those options have dwindled a bit to find someone to mow some of these spots. So last year's contract allowed that zone 4 for us to use a contractor to mow. And this brings that back to how it was prior to 2018.
So I'm just wondering about the process, because if you're gonna bid it out as 9 separate zones and one of the zones is lower, but then you're gonna decide a whole company is gonna do it, should we be bidding it out as 9 separate zones?
And I think that was, we had high hopes that that might attract even, several bidders. And perhaps that was why it did attract one additional one. We have gone with this contract for several attempts at bidding, and the Park and Rec has had this similar issue where we do just get one bidder. And we felt that there was big interest in trying to navigate any option to invite other bidders. But we ended up with just the two here this time.
All right, thank you.
And we've been satisfied with this.
Yes, yep,
They do a really good job.
yes.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 7, request to approve the right-of-way plot and relocation order for Vine Street, 4th Street to 14th Street reconstruction project presented by Josh Marowitz, our acting Public Works Director.
So this is identical to what you've seen a few weeks ago on from our Fifth Street project. This is another project where the city received some WISDOT aid for the project for Vine Avenue between 4th Street and 4th Street. The project requires mostly temporary easements for grading and blending in with the adjacent properties. Due to federal funds being used on the project, the real estate acquisition process must follow WISDOT requirements, which would include preparation of a right-of-way plat and a relocation order resolution to initiate the real estate acquisition process. So attached to your, in the packet are the right-of-way plat, a resolution, and a relocation order. The plat shows the land interest required for the project, which includes 73 temporary limited easements for grading purposes, and also 1 fee acquisition, which is needed to clean up some existing right-of-way issues down at 14th Street and Vine Avenue. There's been some question about whether the right-of-way exists or not. They're working through some of those deeds right now to clarify that, but there may be 1 fee taking on that project. So my recommendation is to approve the right-of-way plat, the resolution 2026-01 and the relocation order, and refer to the Common Council for consideration. Further authorizing the authorize the acting Public Works Director to sign the right-of-way plat on behalf of the city.
Motion.
We have a motion. Have a second? Andrew, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. I gotta. Yeah, number 8, request to approve project agreement with WISDOT for upcoming connecting highway projects presented by Josh again.
All right, thank you. In December of last year, Wisconsin DOT North Central Region contacted us to notify they're planning several significant rehabilitation and reconstruction projects on, they're considered connecting highways, meaning state highways through the city. So Veterans Parkway in its entirety, and also North Central Avenue from Veterans Parkway all the way out down to the north. The first 2 projects they plan to do are a joint repair on Veterans Parkway from Chestnut Avenue to McMillan Street, and then followed by, or in conjunction with, a resurfacing project on Veterans Parkway from McMillan Street to Mann Street. They're both currently scheduled for a 2030 construction year, but they could be advanced to 2029 if additional funding becomes available. And there's a map in your packet that identifies, I believe it's 6 projects that could span out as far as 2034, but they're a considerable investment into the community and the city's share of these projects. The agreements spell out that the city pays 25% of the design costs and none of the construction costs. So you can see it spelled out on your sheet here. So the Veterans Parkway Chestnut to McMillan Street, the estimated to cost $3.3 million, and the city's share is $33,750. Similarly, the McMillan Street to Man Street is estimated to cost $1.2 million, and the city's contribution is roughly $33,000. These projects will give us the opportunity to do any related local utility work if there's some manholes that need adjusting or additional water service improvements, and that would be 100% the city's cost, but this is a pretty significant benefit to the city. So
Absolutely.
my recommendation is to approve the state municipal financial agreements for these first two upcoming projects on State Highway 13 and authorize execution of the same.
I have
I
a
move to
motion.
approve. Oh,
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Don't fight for it. Any
I'll
discussion
second.
on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carried. Number 9, request to approve preliminary resolution for special assessments for 2026 presented by Josh Marwood.
So I didn't prepare a memo for this, but this is something you're likely used to seeing every year. The city is planning to levy special assessments for our upcoming street work. The list in your packet covers all of the asphalt paving program for the year, including, I think there's 6 projects that were carried over from last year that were not completed. And also one additional sewer extension project where there is one parcel that will need a sewer lateral. So I'll read through the list of streets, but this document is really just expressing the city's intent to levy special assessments to these projects. So to name them, 3rd Street from Linden Avenue to Larch Avenue, Apple Avenue from Washera Drive to McMillan Street, Heidi Lane from Hume Avenue to Washera Avenue, Tremel Court in its entirety, all of 26th Circle, all of 27th Circle, an alley between Central and Chestnut Avenue, between Edison and Franklin Streets, another alley between Central and Maple, from Franklin to Grant Street, an alley central to Maple from Grant to Harrison Streets, 8th Street, Sycamore Avenue to the west, 15th Street from Palmetto Avenue to Felker Avenue, Bluebird Court, Columbus Avenue from Ives Street to Upham Street, Concord Avenue, 4th Street through the cul-de-sac, Divine Drive from 17th Street to the south cul-de-sac, Pine Avenue from Depot Street to Arnold Street, Spruce Avenue from Depot Street to Arnold Street, State Street from Schmidt Avenue to the cul-de-sac, 22nd Street, Galvin Avenue to Nicolay Avenue, 24th Street, Galvin Avenue to Nicolay Avenue, Maple Avenue from Daggy Street to Grant Street, Nicolay Avenue from the cul-de-sac to 24th Street, and also the H Basin Relief Sewer, which is on Juneau Avenue between Daggy Street, Juneau Court. So I recommend that resolution 2026-02 be approved.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, a second.
I'll s-
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carried. Are there any items for future agendas? Nobody? Guess then we're ready for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Andrew? All those in favor?
Aye.
Yep. Second.
We're adjourned.
Aye.